I'm Frank Sepe for NPCNewsOnline.com. I'm at Bev Francis Powerhouse Gym in Syosset. I'm here with IFBB judge Steve Weinberger and the first ever men's physique Olympia Showdown champion, Mark Anthony. And we're talking about proper preparation and for all you NPC competitors out there who want to compete in the men's physique division. So we heard early in the video from Steve the proper criteria, what the judges are looking for, and Mark, the #1 guy in the business right now, gave you some tips on how to prepare and basically, you know, how you get your mind and your body set to be the best you can on stage. So now I got both guys here. I want to talk to the head judge at the Olympia, Steve Weinberger. Now people want to know, you judge the show, why is Mark, you know, so much better than everybody at this point in time? He's won, what, 5 pro shows in a row? I know you had to strive for 5.
What Mark brings to the table is a perfect combination of size, shape, condition, and symmetry. As you could tell, he's not a massive guy. I mean, you are actually a much bigger framed guy. I mean, I know you're not a bodybuilder anymore, but right. He has a lot of muscle on a small frame, but not enough muscle to be a bodybuilder. If you look at his arms are of good size, his chest is a good size, his shoulders are a good size, but he's not overly developed. He doesn't come in with massive shoulders. He doesn't stand with his lats all the way out. He's walking and talking like a regular guy. Like just, it's not bodybuilding. It's more fitness to the next level, to the guy that wants to look unbelievably fit, unbelievable condition, unbelievable shape, about 2 steps above or 3 steps above the average fit guy in the street. That's what this is really.
I think there's a big misconception that men's physique competitors don't train hard. Anybody could get abs, but it's more than that. Like Steve said, it's symmetry. It's making sure all the pieces of the puzzle fit together. And just because, you know, you talked about it, you're in men's physique doesn't mean you don't train hard, right? You talk about how you were training.
Yeah, we touched on that earlier. You know, it's just, I still train hard, and I train heavy to my capacity, you know, just so it's intense, and to build the perfect balance, like Mr. Steve Weinberger was saying, about not being too muscular or too large. I don't have that genetic frame for it anyways, but with diet manipulation and intense training, I just find the right balance for this division.
What advice, as an NPC judge and an IFBB Pro judge, would you give a men's physique competitor in the NPC trying to make the ranks? Like, what would you tell him?
Well, if you want to, you have a choice, like what Mark said. I mean, he genetically is gifted to the point where this is where his body would take him. But there are guys that could put on more muscle, but don't want to put on more muscle. They could train hard, just they don't have to lift heavy weights. Instead of benching maybe 315, they'll bench 225 or 185, build a really good physique, and not worry about so much muscle. Just build a nice, trim, streamlined physique, and they can do it. But what also is very important is presentation. Stage presence. You could have the greatest physique in the world, like Mark does right now, because he's Mr. Olympia, so he'd be considered the man. And if you don't present it right, you're not going to do well. I mean, Mark could stand, if he comes up on that stage and he's got slumped over shoulders, and some guys, they stand like this, you know, and they just, I mean, you've got to be up, not out like a bodybuilder, but just up, present yourself in the best possible way you can. If you have a wide back, then you don't need to open up your back. You just keep your back like that. If you don't have a wide back, how you could help yourself is bring your lats out just a little bit, not like a bodybuilder, but just enough so you could see a V taper. So there's a lot you could do to make your body presentable to help you in your competition.
And Mark talked about it before. There is a technique to the posing, you know, posing, right?
Yes. Like we touched on this again earlier about not opening your lats too much, but, you know, pay attention to details. Practice your posing. Go on NPCNewsOnline.com and see what the pro guys are doing. You know, learn how to expose your strengths and your weaknesses. You know, I'm not the widest guy. You know, I have sometimes to stand beside wider guys, so I have to learn how to, like Big Steve was saying, how to position myself and give the illusion of being wide, but not opening my lats.
And make no mistake about it. I know a lot of people say, you know, what's the criteria for men's physique? The NPC judging has been extremely consistent, and so is the pro judging on what we're looking for. So, you know, sometimes you hear from bigger guys or small guys, well, they're looking for this, they're looking for that. No. The judging's been extremely consistent. Mark's won 5 pro shows. I don't think it's been more consistent than that. So the proof is if you're trying to strive to win a show, then Mark is basically what you need to look like. You know, genetically, if you can't look like Mark, you want to look symmetrical, you want to keep him in the best condition you possibly can. This isn't bodybuilding, it's men's physique. There's a difference between the two. You're not going to have the biggest guys in this class. So I know a lot of competitors out there, well, how big should I be? Look at the pictures on NPC News and look at the pros. You know, proof is in the pudding. That's it. So you're here at East Coast Mecca, you know. So tell us, how do you like the gym?
I mean, this is always my favorite place to train at when I come to New York. I don't want to train anywhere else. You know, we make the drive out here, and it's great to see you all, and everyone is very welcoming. And I know I'm going to have a great workout here. Like I spoke about in an article that we did together. I look on the walls here, and it's like a museum, the Museum of Bodybuilding. So it's a pleasure to be here on a beautiful Sunday, and you know, I look forward to training.
Okay, I've been training at this gym for about 20 years. I've traveled all over the world. This is the best gym. You know, you look on the walls, you'll see the who's who in bodybuilding history for the past 20, 30 years. You know, even before I've been here. You know, this is basic. You know, pros come out of this place every single day. If you're an aspiring NPC athlete and you want to see how the pros train, how they look, off-season, pre-contest, this is the gym that you want to come to. Mark's here in the off-season, right? He trains here. You're never going to find better leg equipment, just a better vibe, you know, a better competitive vibe for people who want to, like, you know, take it to the next level. And you got the head judge, you know, the NPC and IFBB right here, you know, Steve Weinberger, who basically, you know, you're looking for advice. There's a lot of shows in the New York area, Connecticut, whole East Coast. You know, ask Steve.
I'm here every day, and I'm more than happy to help. Anyone wants any advice, any questions, I'll have a look at them. I'll tell them what I think they need, what I could do to help. I'm always available.
My piece of advice to you guys is don't ask your grandma, don't ask your best friend, don't ask anybody who has no clue of what you should look like on stage, how you look, or you think I'm going to be ready. Because as a judge myself, there's only one person who's usually happy at these shows, and that's the person that wins. Okay? Because people tell them they should have did this, should have did that. Take pictures of yourself along the process. Talk to people in the business who know exactly what the criteria is, what they're looking for. Even your professionals, your judges. You know, this way there's very small room for error. Okay? Because your friends, your family are all going to tell you look fantastic. You know, you want to have somebody with an objective opinion. You know, so again, wherever you're competing, ask a judge, ask a pro, look at the pictures, inform yourself. Knowledge is power.
And always try to be ready a week before. Everyone's dialing, and if the show is November 2nd, wait till you see me on November 2nd. Well, you know what? You should really be better suited to be ready on October 25th so you could tweak it. Because there's no such thing as dialing exactly on that day. You hold it, your condition's right. I'm sure if you ask Mark, he wasn't ready the day of the Olympia. I'm sure he was ready at least 1 week before the Olympia, if not 2 weeks before the Olympia, and then fine-tuning. So when he walked on stage, he knew what he was going to present. It's not a surprise.
And look, it's been over, you know, what, 3-4 weeks since the Olympia, and Mark is still in shape, you know. And you want to talk about staying in shape during the off-season. Yeah,
I feel like it's very important, you know, for, you know, especially guys on the professional level to, you know, encourage the guys in the NPC coming up by staying in shape, always presentable, you know, carrying themselves like champions and professionals. You know, my weight doesn't fluctuate more than 15 pounds. I'm going to try to keep it within 10 pounds now because it's just easier for me to, you know, for a photo shoot, like I'm here today, potentially, you know, I'm going to be in a tank top. You know, it's sending the right message about, you know, training and nutrition. You want to try to be in shape all the time.
Exactly. And if you're a role model, you know, you want to be in shape 365 days a year, not 1 day a year, right?
And this is your hobby. You always want to be in shape. You just don't want to be walking around as a heavy guy and then, oh, I'm just going to get ready for that shape and be a slob the rest of the year. And you want to be looking good and feeling good the whole year. You should always stay in shape. You should always train. You should always be at your best.
Great. I want to thank Steve Weinberger and Mark Anthony for, you know, helping us out here on NPCNewsOnline.com. Thank you very much, and thank you.